From being one of the coolest finance techs in a decade to insane price fluctuations, today we're going to talk about Bitcoin and the brutal truth about this cryptocurrency. To give you a little rundown first, it's a decentralized digital currency, which means it's not controlled by any government or financial institution. Sounds pretty cool, right? Well, hold your horses, because there's a catch. Bitcoin is incredibly volatile. I mean, seriously, its prices rise and fall like a roller coaster on steroids. The price can go up and down faster than you can say discombobulated. One day it's worth pennies, and the next day it's worth thousands of dollars. And it's not exactly anonymous. Sure, it's not like your name and address are plastered all over the place, but every transaction is recorded on the blockchain for all to see. And if you're not careful, your identity could be linked to your Bitcoin address faster than you can say crypto. Plus, you know what those pesky anti-money laundering and know your customer regulations mean? It means that Bitcoin exchanges and service providers are sniffing around for personal info. So if you're planning on using Bitcoin to buy some illegal goodies, you might want to think twice. Speaking of illegal goodies, did you hear about the US government getting some of the Bitcoin ransom paid to DarkSide in the Colonial Pipeline hack? Yeah, turns out Bitcoin isn't as sneaky and untraceable as we thought.
The Department of Justice has found and recaptured the majority of the ransom Colonial paid to the DarkSide network in the wake of last month's ransomware attack.
For ages, people have been using Bitcoin to try and dodge the long arm of the law, but it looks like the government has caught up with the times. They now have the tech and the wits to track down anyone who's using Bitcoin for illegal stuff. And let's not forget, they even got part of the ransom back from those DarkSide hackers. This whole situation has made me wonder if Bitcoin really is as safe as we've been told. Can we trust it to keep us anonymous and out of trouble? Or is it just another tool for the feds to catch us in the act? Either way, law enforcement is getting smarter by the day and can track Bitcoin transactions like nobody's business. While Bitcoin may offer a bit of privacy, it's definitely not as anonymous as people make it out to be. So, if you're thinking of going all in on the crypto craze, be prepared for a wild ride, because Bitcoin isn't even regulated. That means there's no safety net if things go wrong, and if your Bitcoin gets stolen or hacked, well, tough luck. There's no one to turn to for help. It's like the Wild West of finance. And let's not forget about the environmental impact of Bitcoin. Mining Bitcoin requires a huge amount of energy, which means it's not exactly eco-friendly. In fact, some experts estimate that Bitcoin mining uses more energy than entire countries. So what's the bottom line? Well, one thing's for sure, it's had a wild ride in popularity. Back in the day, only a few cool kids in the tech world knew about it. But then people started to catch on to the idea of a decentralized digital currency, and Bitcoin popularity skyrocketed. In 2017, it hit its peak at almost 20 grand. Cha-ching! I mean, everyone and their uncle were jumping on the Bitcoin train, afraid to miss out on the next big thing. But guess what? That train or roller coaster derailed, and the price of Bitcoin came crashing down, leaving many investors with empty pockets. Yikes! Sure, these days, Bitcoin's price fluctuates a lot, but one thing's for sure, the roller coaster prices gain a lot of attention. Now, one of the main reasons is that Bitcoin is a relatively new and innovative asset. It was created in 2009 and only gained mainstream attention in the last few years. So, there's still a lot of uncertainty and speculation surrounding it. The fact that Bitcoin is decentralized and not controlled by any government or financial institution also attracts the younger generations.
So I was 18 years old when I made my first $1 million.
How'd it feel?
It felt pretty great.
But big dogs in the financial game, like Warren Buffett, aren't having it because they view crypto as a disruptive force. So, as you might imagine, all this back and forth leads to a lot of excitement and hype around the cryptocurrency, which in turn contributes to its volatile price movements. Another reason for Bitcoin's roller coaster prices is the fact that it's a relatively small market compared to traditional assets like stocks and bonds. So this makes Bitcoin more of a speculative investment than a reliable currency? Allow me to explain. First off, Bitcoin has no real value or backing from anything tangible. So basically, its worth is decided by whoever wants to buy or sell it, making it a roller coaster ride of unpredictability. But even though Bitcoin's value looks super high on paper, a total collapse of the cryptocurrency market won't really affect the whole financial system. So don't worry, your 401k is probably safe. And since Bitcoin has no government governing laws around it, it makes it super volatile. Sure, it's decentralized, which gives you more control over your funds, but it also opens the door to security risks and sketchy behavior. Plus, it's still a new technology that hasn't been fully tested. For all we know, it could have many flaws and vulnerabilities that hackers and other bad guys could exploit. And to top it off, Bitcoin has a shady reputation for being associated with criminal activities like money laundering and drug trafficking. So basically, Bitcoin may not be the currency of the future just yet. It's more like a high-stakes game of roulette, in that you can either win big or lose everything. A game of supply and demand, if you will. Because so far, it's only the changes in supply and demand that contributed to its highs and lows. But more importantly, the potential for quick and large profits is a big attraction for many people, even if it comes with a higher level of risk, which also drives its prices up or down. Overall, Bitcoin's roller coaster prices are a product of its unique characteristics and all the questions surrounding it. Sure, it may be exciting to watch, but it's important to remember that Bitcoin is still a relatively new and untested asset. So naturally, investing in it comes with a lot of risks. But at the end of the day, it's up to you if you want to invest in it or not. Actually, you know what? Let me give it to you straight. Bitcoin has a whole lot of hype, but it's not exactly the savior of the economy. Sure, it's got some benefits like decentralization and anonymity, but it's also got some major flaws like no real value and vulnerability to hacking, like I've already talked about. At the end of the day, Bitcoin is more of a speculative investment than a reliable currency. It's not backed by anything tangible, and its value is solely determined by market demand and supply. Plus, its association with criminal activity has raised red flags for regulators and investors alike. So, if you're thinking about investing in Bitcoin, just remember to proceed with caution and don't believe all the hype. So, if you're looking for a safe and stable investment, Bitcoin is not it. Bitcoin is a very complex and constantly evolving technology. While it has the potential to revolutionize the way we exchange value, it's also a double-edged sword. But if you're a risk taker and you're willing to ride the ups and downs, then go for it. Just remember to not put all your eggs in one basket. Instead, diversify your portfolio and don't invest more than you can afford to lose. And above all, do your research and be informed. Well, that's going to be it from me about the brutal truth about Bitcoin.